Are you a business owner or a community organizer looking to reach a dedicated, socially conscious Black audience? Harlem Liberation School on YouTube is your gateway. With over 635,000 views and a growing community of more than 6,300 subscribers, we engage an audience that's passionate about Black empowerment, passionate about supporting Black businesses and organizations, and getting involved in social justice initiatives. Our viewers, we're talking about business professionals, activists, avid investors, voracious readers, sports fans, high school and college parents, movie buffs, and bargain hunters, the perfect target for your products and services. We offer affordable ad space, product placement, event promotion, link sharing, and sponsorship opportunities to fit your needs and budget. So let's build together. Email us at harlemlschool@gmail.com to get started. Your brand, our platform, powerful impact. Advertise with Harlem Liberation School on YouTube today. Could you, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about the young adult Amun, and what are some of the challenges you faced or obstacles you saw when you were coming up?
Well, the teenager moon, whole different name then. Teenager moon was a byproduct of the young boy moon, which was you talking about an abused child who was physically and mentally abused. I was a kid to get on the bus with bruised ribs and busted lips and black eyes, and was told I wasn't gonna be much, by his father. Even though my mother and my father stayed together for 8 years, my mother did what she could, and my father, I understood after all the years why he did what he did, and it helped me forgive him in his last days. That behavior pattern, that treatment towards me, ended up making me lean more towards street people because they ended up giving me a lot more love. So the homies gave me more fatherly love than my father. So I ended up gang banging as a result and selling dope. That's what they were doing. So I was doing it too because I wanted to be like them. 1991, when I first went to Marine Corps, it was because in 1990, I was sitting in the passenger seat. My partner was in the driver's seat, and he got shot in the head over a female. And I was brains on my shirt. And I asked myself, is this what I want for the rest of my life? I got to do something different. I got to get gone, So I went ahead and I enlisted in the Marine Corps and did my thing, but I was still a knucklehead because I was still banging a little bit in the Marine Corps. Got out to play football, which I did. I played arena football. And I got hurt and had a little time where I struggled. So that part of me was a part where I struggled and experienced loss because I gave so much to people that when it came my time to get help from people, I never got it. So I ended up sleeping on the bus stop for a couple of months and dug myself out of that. And by the end, I met a young lady and then we got together and we got married and I had a son. I had to do something with my life. So as soon as my son was born, joined the Marine Corps again. And I said, if I go in this time, I'm staying until I retire. As I'm back in the Marine Corps, I entered in the initial MOS of artillery, which was field artillery, shooting big cannons. And did that for a while, made it to what they call section chief, as well as platoon sergeant. And then I saw some operators. They had a thing where you could try out for recon. And they asked if, anybody wanted to do that. All combat arms MOS. So I tried out and I made it. So I did that for a while. Went to Iraq, Afghanistan, East Timor, several other places around the world. And I've experienced life on several different paths, The good parts of it was I learned several languages. I've had some experiences with people. I've met people good and bad. I've been divorced. I've been married and been divorced again, and got married to my beautiful wife now. But at the end of the day, I've had my share of pain. I know what it's like when people are disloyal to you. I know what it's like when you overgive. I know what it's like when you're not loyal, when I'm not loyal. I know what it's like when, to be betrayed and everything else, almost to the point to where your life is in danger. I jump out of the extract from the military. I'm retired now. When I initially got out, I had a lot of guns. When I first got out, 2010, I got rid of all my guns as soon as I came home because of what I did in the Marine Corps. All that war, and all that shooting, I was at the point I didn't want to touch a gun again. So with that being said, it took me up to 2015 when I was saying, hey, something ain't right. Because, it was dealing with the Trayvon Martin issue. It started with Sandra Bland, and it was Trayvon Martin, it was Mike Brown, it was Alton Sterling, it was Lando Castillo, it was on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So then I got to the point where I said, something has to be done. We're at war. Prior to that, let me just back up a little bit. Prior to that, I was a preacher. That's a long
Mm.
story. Prior to that, I was a preacher. I was a youth pastor, as a matter of fact, under my father, who was a doctor in theology. I was a devout Christian. I was church 7 days a week, literally seven
Seven
days a week.
days a week?
7 days a week. I went to church,
Wow.
and I looked forward to it. I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't curse, I didn't do none of that wild stuff. Wasn't sleeping around, even when I was single. Wasn't sleeping around, none of that. Okay, when I say devout, I was devout. Now, what led me up to that? I got to rewind a little bit, y'all. What reminded me up to even joining the church again was the fact that, man, I was wilding. I was wilding a little bit. Me fresh out of the Marine Corps, I had a whole bunch of traumas I was dealing with. A lot of traumas. And I thought Jesus was the way to go. So I ended up joining the church, and then ended up saying I was called to be a preacher, but in reality, I just wanted to make my father proud of me. So I ended up doing what I'm supposed to do in the ministry, being a good old preacher. I saw so much in the church that I just started seeing nonsense, lies, people not living the way I'm living, and they seeing it to me in the church, but they're expecting all this great stuff out of me. So then it made me write a sermon called "I Can No Longer Live a Lie," and I went in. I went in on the deacons. I was sleeping around with the deaconesses. I went to the married deacon that was touching little girls. I was talking about the
Mm.
preachers that couldn't keep their eyes off of other women. I mean, I went in. I went in. As I was driving home from church, I was like, God, God, I'm real confused right now. I don't know what that was about. The voice in the back of my head was, I'm going to show you some things. You're not going to like none of them. But by the time you go to bed, you're going to remember one thing, and that's don't ever call me father again. I went to sleep. I woke up, and I was livid. I woke up. This is a lie. Christianity is a lie. They lied to me. It contradicted themselves. Blah 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 blah. Threw my Bible away that day. And for the first time in years, I cursed. I left the church, and then I entered this realm of so-called consciousness. So I joined the New Black Panthers on Crystal Muhammad, and everything was okay for a minute, but there was some things I didn't agree with. So I ended up leaving because some things I didn't agree with. I didn't agree with behavior patterns. I didn't agree that you could be doped up and high on duty. I didn't agree that your uniform could look sloppy on duty. I didn't agree in poor revolutionary. I definitely don't agree in the most revolutionary thing you can do is go to jail. The most revolutionary thing you can do to me is save your people. Ended up leaving that formation. I was a man without a country for a while. Slightly before Hurricane, well, it was about 6 months before Hurricane Harvey. I ended up joining Huey P. Newton Gun Club. Trained with them, not necessarily joined, but trained with them, right?
Mhm.
Then I joined for about 2 weeks, and then I asked if I could start a special operations unit for the Huey P. Newton Gun Club called Anubis. He gave me the go ahead. I had some people that was in the Huey P. Newton Gun Club working with me. We did some good things. One day, um, their chairman, Babu Omawale, came in, gave me full autonomy over Anubis, and boom, here I am. But what made my mindset me is a mixture of my former religion embedded with my current spirituality. And it's the fact that all of my life, I've always felt that there was a greater purpose for me out there than just to be one of the crowd. I'm not trying to be the next Malcolm. I'm not trying to be the next Martin. I'm trying to be the first and only Amun.
Yeah.
I don't, not a big quote giver. I'm not a big look at me guy, because once you put yourself in that box, say, look at me, people are going to look at you and they're going to expect a whole lot of things. And I'm not willing to give them all of that. What I'm willing to give you is a person that loves his people. Am I fallible? Absolutely. Do I have things I need to work on? All day. Do I have anger issues? Yes. Do I get frustrated? Absolutely. Do I get depressed? Sometimes. Do I lose faith? Yes. Because I'm this thing called human. But I want a bunch of people to understand that humans could actually, if you reach down and grab a hold, you understand that you have things that you need to work on that's going to help your personal life. You will be okay. You just got to push through it. We could save our people together. Teach the people to save the people. And after I do that, because I promised my father I would start a Anubis before he died. I said, I work for the people and I worked this hard for 10 years. If it don't work, Pops, I quit because I need to rest. I fought my wars. I fought in Iraq. I fought in Afghanistan. I fought all over this planet. I need to rest. I've been blown up once and shot 5 times. So I said, after 10 years, I'm not fighting this fight no more, because if we ain't liberated in 10 years, we don't want to be. That's a decade.
Mm. You just said something I think about. When I was younger, and I saw people like you said, uniforms were sloppy. They not coming
Right.
in. They're not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not reading what they're supposed to do. And I used to think, hey, what's up with that? I didn't get it right.
Mm.
And it was because I was under the assumption that all the people in this organization actually believed in what the organization represented and actually wanted to be free and liberated. It wasn't until a little later I realized some people join things and have no, they're really not trying to be this great Christian, this great Buddhist, this great Muslim. They join for other reasons, and this is just the thing that attracts them. Or in our case, they join a political organization because there's women there. They join a political organization because they get attention. They join a political organization because it seems like the cool thing to do, but they're not committed. Did you come to see that, or I'm just curious to what your experience has been with that?
I see it all the time, which is why I backed away from that part of the movement. I mean, everybody wants to be this revolutionary war fighter until the war's in your face. I've never seen so many fat warriors in my life. I never seen so many 300-pound
Stop,
warriors
man.
that can't walk down the street in my life. I'm serious. In the 18 years I served in the Marine Corps, I have never seen a 300-pound recon Marine. I've never seen warriors that couldn't disassemble and assemble their rifle. Barely knew the components, barely knew how it worked, couldn't shoot, move, communicate, don't know what communications mean, don't know understand radio discipline. And my least favorite one, cannot follow orders and cannot play their positions, because at the end of the day, if you give black people a position, what I've learned is they're going to take that and say, I can tell you what to do, even though it's your team, and no matter what, it's because I am at a certain place in your life, I'm your friend, or I'm this, I'm that to you. It matters more, and that's false. The business fails in the movement. The business is saving the people. The business is the people. It fails when people cannot play their position. It absolutely unequivocally fails. When you can't follow instructions, that's when the fuse is lit to detonation on what you're trying to do so far as a task. Some people don't want to play their position because at the end of the day, they see what you're doing and they think they can do it better.
Yes, sir.
My advice to
Yes,
them is, if
sir.
you think you can do it better, is get the hell out of what he's doing and start your own thing instead of trying to be destructive. Or they have discipline problems. They have discipline problems, so you got to get rid of them, and I will get rid of you. Nobody, no commander wants to get rid of somebody. But if you're a discipline problem, you got to go.
What's
It's just like
define
working.
discipline problem for me, for us?
The discipline problem is this. Hey, I need y'all. Y'all haven't been in training. What's going on? Hey, man, stop telling me what to do. Why you always got to be in charge? Because I am in charge. You and your ego. It's not in my ego if I'm literally telling you what this is. I am in charge. Yes, that is a fact. It's not about an ego. It's about respecting chain of command. And the reason why I would say I'm in charge, and I'm proud to say that, is because when stuff goes bad, guess whose fault it is? Mine. When somebody's being petty and they starting trash with another organization and they're from my team, guess who the other team gonna go to war with? Me. And I'm sitting there by myself. Guess whose fault it is if somebody says something ridiculous on a post and everybody mad? Me. And I cannot have nothing to do with it.
Okay, so
Okay?
let me stop you there, Moon, because you're on a roll. I feel the energy, and I have been through all of what you just said personally, and I've
Right.
seen others go through it personally. I was always taught if you want to lead, everybody wants to lead. You gotta serve first. You want to be a
Mm-hmm.
teacher, you gotta be a student first and be excellent as a student, so you can be an excellent teacher. And I would imagine if you got to be commander because you earned that through military, firearms, and whatever else you learned. You didn't just pop up like, oh, I'm gonna be head of Anubis. You had the
Right.
requisite skills. So now my question is, that I know personally leads to deep level anger, resentment, and frustration and disillusionment. Wondering, am I in the wrong? Is it me? Am I in the wrong thing? I want to know. I want people watching who are going to feel all of these things that you just very eloquently broke down. What things did you do to work through that, Amun, so that you weren't consumed? How did you work through that? How do you work through that?
I'm still working with it, Bob. I'm gonna be honest with you. I resent the movement. I resent the stuff that I went through. I resent all the sacrificing. I resent the amount of time that I spent away from my family. I resent the amount of money that I spent. I resent the folks who misjudged me and miscalculated, lied on my name, and everything. I resent all of it. Why? Because my heart goes to the people. Always. I'm forever loyal to the people. Now, how do I deal with it? I ignore them. That's why I'm no longer in that movement. I work solely, my team. We're no longer revolutionaries, we're solutionaries. I left that whole movement. If that's what they want, I'm gone, and so is my team. Do not call us if all hell breaks out. We'll work for the people away from them. But with all the turmoil that was caused, I no longer want nothing to do with them. Period. Not even on a personal level. Nowhere in life. And I've been called divisive because of that. And I want to say in advance, thank you. You know why? Because I am. I am a black man. I don't like. And I'm very divisive when it comes to that because at the end of the day, I am trying to help my people. I'm not. Look. I'm not the sole complete savior of the black nation. I know this. I get it wholeheartedly. Neither do I want to be. I want to do my part as I promised. But if I got a bunch of trying to throw curveballs and everything that black people trying to do, I got to get away from you. And I'm gonna stay away. You can whatever elder you sway, anybody that get on your side. All I need is the list. I'll get rid of them because at the end of the day, they're not elders if they can't have the discernment to say that this is crazy. They're elders, and I don't need to be around elders. I need advice from
So,
elders.
so for those who will be watching this, one of the things you did was you created boundaries. You said,
Absolutely,
I'm not going
that's
to
it,
be
man.
Mary Poppins and let everybody in my crew. If I find out that you poison, cancer,
You got to go.
whatever, you got to go. And that I
You got to go.
find, brother, I find in my study of, let's say, great people, for lack of a better word, of across all types of disciplines, they all got that. They all got that.
Yeah,
They don't they don't suffer fools gladly like people say. They once they see you up, whoop, bye,
yeah.
and they move. They keep moving. I'm curious. Because now I want people for the empowerment piece who will be watching on that channel.
Mm,
So you created boundaries, and you wouldn't feel
yeah.
bad about saying, "Nah, I can't rock with this one. Can't rock here. You can rock
No,
somewhere, but you can't rock here." Okay, I got that. What did you do, Amun, to keep your faith, to not feel like, man, I did all this military, I did all this, I built Anubis for nothing? Why didn't you just say, I'm disbanding Anubis? What kept you understand, what kept that alive for you?
that's because I refuse to get satisfaction of seeing me quit. See, the thing is, when you have a movement, you have a belief. Like I do, I strongly believe in my people. And the definition of revolution is a thought process that becomes infectious. So with that being said, I'm in a revolution right now, but I'm also a Zoe. I'm also a Haitian. So I understand how the Haitian revolution started. You got to get rid of some before you fight the real fight. You got to go inside before you go outside. I will not at all let anybody let me fall, let me quit. Not even my own team members. If we're gonna fight together, we're gonna fight with a purpose. If you're not here for the purpose and you're here just to do what everybody else has been doing for 20 something years that has not been effective, you stay your A over there because this is a different fight.
So another thing that you do is you're clear on what your purpose and goal is. And you
Yes,
don't allow people to confuse it. And you try
right,
not to be confused. That's important too. Okay, I
right,
like I like this, brother. A lot is coming out in this discussion that I think the political audience and the quote unquote empowerment audience, which to me should be one and the same, I think
right.
we'll get a lot out of it. Now, you were in the military.
Yeah,
You were in gang life.
I was.
They have a lot of things in common, but one of the things they have in common is discipline.
Yep.
You ain't gonna be in the gang making your own rules because you just got in. You gonna be telling people what? No, you gonna get punished. You gotta
You're gonna
follow the
follow
chain of
code, you're gonna
command.
get
Am I
violated.
right?
Right. Right. You're gonna follow
Okay.
code, you're gonna get violated.
Yes, sir. So, what role has discipline? This is a concept we teach about in the Wakusu empowerment all the time. You can be smart, talented. This that. You don't got discipline. Ooh boy, you're gonna have a rough way to go. What role has discipline played in your life, Amun?
Discipline plays a super role in my life. It's my day-to-day regimen. I mean, and it's not just because of the movement. It's my everyday life is based on discipline. All my life has been on discipline. I played what I was playing sports. That's what helped me make it to pro level. Discipline. Um, music, discipline. Walking my daily day. The fact that I could start a business and I could be to work early or on time, all the time. Discipline. Domestic violence rescue happened. I could be on this side of town, anywhere in the city. I'll be there in less than 30 minutes. Discipline. The fact that I will stand up and face off anybody, I don't care if you're Mike Tyson, we're just going to find out if you can hurt me. Discipline. The fact that I'm resilient, no matter if I'm so sick of these Negroes, which I am currently, and I'm still standing for the people, it's because I have enough discipline to tell my father, I say. And the only thing that registers in the back of my head is what I promised him and how I want my father to see me when I leave here and I go to the next one.
It resonates. What did you promise your dad, if you don't mind?
I promise him I will fight for the people for 10 years. I will fight as hard as
Okay.
I can. However, no, there's no however to that. If it goes over, it goes over. And I said, well, maybe I need to not do this fighting for 10 years, but maybe I need to go do something different. And that's not a problem. And I'm working on that right now. Maybe, it's a lot of stuff that, like I said, I resent the movement. Man, I gave her 8 years of music to be in the movement.
Speaking of that music, that's a perfect segue.
Uh-huh.
So many of our people that we know for acting or dancing or ball or whatever it is actually may have 3 or 4 or 5 things they do really well. That may just be the thing that they popped in or that was commercially successful. I remember going to this conference in Mississippi. Organization I'm not going to name at this point.
Right.
God bless all of them. I hope all of them are well and prospering and staying true to the cause. But and we in the car. I think we was in the car with Los. And
Yeah,
you
it was
put in this
Carlos.
tape. And I was like, yo, we was like, that is fire. Who's that? He's like, Baba, that's me. I was like, that ain't true. I was like, that is you. That joint was fire. I was like, yo, this dude is dope, is a dope, like legitimately dope. I'm an old Harlem MC. I know dopeness when I hear it.
See,
Even if the
when I hear
style is
old school
different,
Harlem and
I
old
know
school
it.
Brooklyn, I gotta appreciate that.
Yeah, I was like, that's dope. And I told you that. And as a matter of fact, we were using, with your permission, the song Do You Know Who You Are?
Yeah, do you know what you are?
Because it
Yeah.
was so powerful. Now, hip hop, as you know, reflects pain, it reflects resistance, expresses resilience. I'm curious to know, how has your music served as a tool for your healing and transformation, and maybe the communities or the community that you spit in, so to speak. Has it
I'll
been
say this.
therapeutic for you?
Absolutely. My album Anubis is basically a life story. It talks about 8 years of my life that I lost dealing with the movement. The last song is the one that really helped me, my single, Taking It Back. Where I talked about taking back my energy. And actually that was my exit song out of the movement.
Can we get a little piece there, if you don't mind?
Sure. It says, free from the drama, separated myself from the foolishness, made it cease, raised the alarm up. For suckers and haters disturbing my peace, standing up on my own till I go out and get it. I'm with it, dismissing, I'm all in committed. I'm standing a soldier, at war with the nonsense, telling all of my people to stand at the ready. It's coming in every direction and section. It's coming for all of your mental no questions. So keep it solid, hold your line tight, keep the circle small, keep your mind right. It's a battle to maintain your sanity when this whole planet is lacking humanity. Now, the part where it talks about my exit from the movement is when I said, I took back my energy, cut off the frenemies, mindset to graduate, feeding the firemen, did my Harambe's, Ogunas are with me, ancestors improvement, I'm moving to destiny, legacy solid, a boss with this knowledge, I'm standing on royalty, my nation feeling me, because I can stand in the fighting out no matter what when I thought that this battle was killing me. Then I say, you don't deserve me, not even the word you ain't worthy. Why give you a part of me when I needed you? You acted like you never heard me. Then I say, so I face off with the struggle alone, and I made it up out of that hole. And I see that you hate it when I'm undefeated and you overrated. You stuck in the basement and I'm elevated. Focus the game up. I kept it solid. You changed up. The karma's hitting you like a train now every time that you bring my name up.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's
So
fire. Now, you saying that when you wrote that, you were thinking, this is my exit, I'm out of here, and this is going to represent that. Did you actually go to bro and say, I want you to listen to that? That's how I feel about this.
no,
Or
my wife was in with me when I recorded it. She felt all the passion. And the last part of my song, it says, I'm free. I'm free. Because that's how I feel. Now that I'm away from all of that, even though they still blah blah, But for the fact that I don't have to directly deal with these K&E Negroes, I'm free. I felt like a slave for 8 years of my life, as hard as I
How
worked for these
ironic is
people.
that? Yeah.
Only for them to stab me in my back and repeatedly lie on my name and all this stuff because I ain't doing what they want me to do. I said, oh my God, I feel free. They try to have fake tribunals against me, the whole thing. I don't care. I don't care.
Hey,
I'm free.
you are war ready, brother. You battle tested. Yes, sir. You free.
I,
That stuff
I
roll
got
off of you.
I got so many scars on me that no pain that they throw can doggone mess with them. My thing is this. I gave my heart to these people only to be stabbed in it repeatedly. And if it wasn't for my wife, I would be going through a whole nother cycle of depression because of these Negroes. Now that I have my life back, if it wasn't for my wife, I would still be trying to reconcile for the sake of the people with
Mm.
these people. Instead of realizing what Baba Baruti teaches us, family is your first nation. And I neglected my family for these. My mama who needs me, my wife who needs me. I got a grandson, I got granddaughters, I got a daughter, I got sons that love me. When these treated me like they hated me, they treated me worse than a white man ever did. That's facts. And I still can't stand a white man. But it ain't because they made them do it. It's because I see the white man in them. So when I see, if I'm
Yoo-hoo.
standing and I see a pig pit and I see a bunch of pigs right there, and you saying that's a pig, that's a pig, that's a pig, but you a black hog, I got problems with you. Hypocritical, nonsensical. They stuck in the doggone 60s. No disrespect to the ones that sacrificed so greatly, but that the new ones that never saw the 60s in their life are following niggas that's talking about stuff that happened in the 60s. And we're in the year 2025, where everything is totally and completely different.
Come
Your
on,
war fighting
teach.
strategy is outdated. And
Yes,
I'm not
sir.
gonna send my soldiers off in there to die because you want to sit up there and do this. Power to the people,
Yeah,
my brother.
no
And, you,
doubt,
and
brother.
I hate to hear bro insist from these people because they don't know what family is. If I call you a brother, you my brother. If I call you a sister, you my sister. They
All
don't
right.
they don't they don't know what that is. And it's a trauma. It creates a trauma.
Mm.
Okay? I've seen so much in this movement and I've heard so much that I can't no more.
Understood.
I can't. I have disdain for a lot of it now. Not telling people, hey, don't work for the people. You work for the people, but you don't need you don't need organizations to do that. You don't need 4, 5, 50 million people that's walking down the street just clapping, they just saying, hell no, we won't
Boom.
go to work for the people.
Gets it.
I thought Tulsa was gonna do something. Tulsa didn't do nothing but let me know who to be mad at. Bunch of walking down the street dressed in masks and black, talking about we warriors, we ready for war. Where you at when ICE is in all these cities right now? Let me say this, Baba. If you have a hue of dark skin and live in a community, everybody has a responsibility to protect it, regardless of what your talent is. Every single brother or sister has a responsibility, an undeniable responsibility to take care of their community. If you don't know how to shoot guns, you need to train. If you're scared of guns, you need to get unscared. If you don't know how to guard, learn. The problem is with black people, our nation that I love dearly, but if we're going to have a real conversation, it's going to be honest. We want this.
A
Gimme,
handout? Yeah,
gimme.
yeah.
Let me give you an example. Reparations. Those are your reparations. That's your great great grandparents' reparations. That's your ain't got nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you at all. But you want your great great grandparents to what? Give you something. But like I told people, I said, you want to stimulate the American economy? Yeah, give black people reparations. Do it overnight. You're going to spend it all. You just want a check. You want a stimulus. You want them stymies. You're not looking to give nothing back into your people. A lot of these people that so-called fight for the people, ask them about their socioeconomic status, meaning where you work at. Most of these niggas don't have jobs. Of course you fight for the people, you boots on the ground every day. What else you gonna do? You ain't got nothing else to do.
Right.
But when it's time, when crunch comes down, they say we ready for the race war. There's not gonna be a race war. Let me tell you why. One, white people are already whoop black people. It's done. COINTELPRO has already massacred black people. 3, if we were to go into a race war, we dying in 10 seconds. Drones, infrared, special operators, nuclear capability. Okay? Let's just be real about all this stuff, okay? We ready to fight the white man. You're not, because Zimmerman is walking around and you ain't said a word to him, but your brother that you had a difference with on Facebook, you want to pull up and kill his family. The KKK and neo-Nazis can't stand each other, but when it comes to us, they best friends. We don't understand strategy. They do. We could understand strategy, but we too busy hating to get the knowledge from somebody that got it. Because you can't be in that spot that they in. If they got a little respect, if they got a little popularity, you got a problem with them because they got a little popularity. Why can't the ladies like me? Ain't my fault you ugly. But at the end of the day, why can't the ladies like me?
All right, Amun. So let's pivot just a minute. You do a lot with Anubis beyond the tactical, the obvious. We would associate with a group that's training in arms. Could you help people understand all the other things Anubis does?
I have an adopted elder program where I can do free maintenance from my construction company, ATI Enterprises. We help them build structures. We do domestic violence rescue. We've done over 50 of those. My other company, Anubis Security Group, where we actually formed a bodyguard company. So we left the movement and I put money. In other words, we hire black people. We left the movement. My brothers and sisters said, what we going to do? So we got all these guns. We going to make some money. So I got my brothers and sisters hired. Okay, instead of walking around waiting on the next march, they going to work. Because I want to see my brothers and sisters be successful. Instead of walking up and down the street and talking about, hell no, we can't go. And when the war is over, what you going to do? And my construction company teaches my brothers and sisters to build. Should we get reparations or anything like that? The strategy behind that is, if you get all this money in reparations, what you going to build? If they say you got to get the hell out of our land. What if the reparations in land and equipment? What are you going to build? But these don't know. And I'm saying it just like that. It sounds crazy that I'm talking like this. But if I'm being real with it, like I said, I have this thing because I don't like being around hypocrites and liars. But yet they try to sling all this mud at me and make me look like that when I'm actually still standing on my two. And that's what they realize now. Moon stands on his two.
For young brothers and sisters that come from similar circumstances to you and me, I'm sure we had very similar circumstances, not the same, but similar, that might be caught between the streets and their potential. They might be with people who pulling them in all the wrong directions, wasting their time, wasting their money, ain't teaching them a damn thing of substance. Young people who are spending their money on the drugs and whatever they're doing. What are some of the things you would tell the young brother that's out there, that's still out there beasting and bugging out and wasting money and not learning nothing?
I would tell them that actions have consequences and use common sense. And if you're not scared of the consequences, you let me know who I need to stand across the firing line with. It's time to start getting rid of. You could be a victor, you could be a victor, or you could be a victim. Choice is yours. And I mean that in all sincerity. I'm going to tell you like this. I don't like a lot of what Trump is doing. But you know what I'm not mad about? You have to send people like ICE and the National Guard to places like Chicago to stop these from killing each other. I blame us for being bad parents, but I'm going to say so let it be. Because maybe the only thing to get our minds right is the most drastic circumstance ever. Maybe people start dying, you get it.
Brother, in the 80s, we used to tell people some of you Negroes, if they pass an amendment to re-enslave all black people today, then you might get while we're saying we got to work together, you got to bury the arguments, we got to save them. But why does it have to take that? You know, that's the sad part.
Well, it has to take all that because we're hard-headed.
What role has spirituality played in your ability to navigate all of this craziness, Brother Moon, and the betrayal, the disappointment, whatever, the setbacks? What role has that played? What are some of the things you do when the moon is in solitude, no one's around? What are you doing to keep yourself grounded and to keep yourself right?
I talked to Baba Ogun. I asked him, may you keep my mind clear, my sword sharp. I asked him to help me be a shield for my family. I asked Baba Ogun to protect my heart, protect my mind, protect my body. I asked my father and my ancestors before me to keep giving me that much needed wisdom. And I apologize for any time I did not listen before, but I'm here now. My spirituality helps me immensely. There are times, like you heard me on a rant a couple of times on here. It's because I'm angry and I got the right to be. However, it also helps me reel it back in and dial it down. It helps me not act on the anger that I have because I understand that I have stuff to lose. It helps me understand that my purpose is greater than what my experience was. It helps me lean more towards what loves me. It helps me grab more of what I love. And it helps me forgive a nation that is very ungrateful and keep pushing. That's the only turn in my cheek I'm doing is for my people. Because there are some brothers and sisters that just don't know no better. And I tell myself, remember, Amun, you used to be like that too. You was a, but now you're a black man, so you can't go in there openly criticizing people. But at the end of the day, you had to grow through this and you had to elevate and you had to evolve to what you are right now. So give them grace. Talking about the ones that we trying to help. Give the people grace and understand that nobody's perfect. And if you do that, you're gonna be okay. So when I do that, I take my breaths and then I think about what I would say to my grandson should he be my age and going through the same thing. I think about what I say to my sons when they going through a depression moment and they feeling betrayed or something like that. What would I tell them? And I take my own advice so they can look at me and go, "Well, Dad did tell me that, and he on point with it because that's exactly what he's doing." Or my grandson said, "Well, Baba told me this, and that's exactly what he's doing." I look at Baba's like yourself and Baba Baruti when I need advice, or Mama Brenda when I need sound advice from real, true elders that can give me African knowledge. Help me understand this from an African perspective, because if I'm looking at it from an African American perspective, I'd have been to quit years ago. But the fact that I look at it from an African perspective helps me stay in the fight, because it's the same fight that my ancestors fought in slavery. Not sure.
If you and Mila said, yo, we found a time machine, we going to the future to a place where black people is chilling. Y'all ain't gonna see us again. We ain't gonna see y'all again. So these are the last my last words for y'all. What would them words be, good brother? What would you be telling the people?
Every brother and sister ain't your brother and sister, so don't call them that. Everybody that say they family ain't family. Make sure you got those people that call you family. Make sure they earn that title. And when they do earn that title, you hold on tight to them and you never go short with them. You make your line in concrete, not sand. You stand on your own too, because sometimes you're going to have to. Even those people that love you are going to misunderstand you. And that's another thing. If, and this is a popular quote, but it's very true. If you want to be the greatest thing you've ever been in your entire life, be ready to be unaccepted and misunderstood by
You better tell
everybody
them.
you love.
You better tell them. That's a man or woman amongst men and women. That's a leader. What inspired you to create Anubis specifically? Did anything happen or what? How did that come about?
War. War happened. All I saw was a bunch of organizations. It's either protesters or they on the gun range. Are you willing really to put your heart pedal to the metal and let your heart dance on your tongue? Are you really literally ready to look death in the face? Because your enemies are. And I always said that black people are not ready for a military. And I still say that because we're too undisciplined. But those people that are should be ready to join Anubis. Not just because of me. It's because it's what our ancestors dreamt of having.
What does the Amun today, when he
Mm-hmm.
goes and visits the 13-year-old Moon, what do you say to him? What do you say based on all you've been through and you've observed and learned?
You're gonna be all right. Um, don't listen to the traffic. Don't listen to the noise. Find you a better mentor than your homies.
Yes,
Don't sit in
sir.
that car next to your homeboy. You know he's dealing with that girl, and you know y'all both Pyru, and his girl is dating a crip, and she's cheating on with your friend. Don't get in that car. Change your circle. You put the drugs down yourself, and you shouldn't be selling that stuff. It's wrong. Who you're selling it to is wrong. Have a conscience. Pick your self-esteem off the ground. Don't let these Negroes tear your self-esteem down so they can feel good about themselves. You keep your head up, even if they call you arrogant.
Hello.
It's not your fault. They got to get on your level. So I would hug myself, honestly. That's the biggest thing that I deal with. You know, when I talk to my therapist, because I do suffer from depression really bad. I was asked one day, I said, "What would you do if you saw yourself?" I said, "The first thing I do is hug myself and tell myself that you are worthy." There was many times growing up, didn't feel like I was okay. You know, my wife has helped me understand that it is okay to feel safe. Finally, but for her, I did not feel safe. That's why I seemed really aggressive. I had a really aggressive posture because all I had was me. Anybody I ever even talked to before, they didn't protect me like I would protect them, if that makes sense, because men get protected too, right? All I had was me to try to make sense of this myself. So that makes you a very hard and jaded person. My old government name was Claude Jenkins. That young man had a lot of scars on him, Bible. That young man had a lot of pains that he carries to this day. That young man will sit here and cry to this day about something that happened when he was 13 years old, and I'm 52.
Mm.
There's a lot of pain in that name. That's why I had to change it. That pain it belongs to a young boy that bleeds and has cried and has bled more than a lot of people. I should be either strung out or mentally insane or a prisoner for the rest of my life. That's the only three outcomes they gave. That's the only outcomes they gave me. But I ended up fighting that and being a retired United States Marine Corps special operator, pretty good musician. I got two to go. Well, I got 2 degrees, one from the United States Marine Corps, one from a community college, and 5 NCCER certifications in the craft, and an honorary doctorate. I'm a certified carpenter. I'm a certified plumber. I'm a certified master builder and a multi-craft. So, with that being said, from a person that should be dead, he made a legacy for himself.
What does
If
a
you're
person need to do to change? What are the qualities? What are the things you think?
accept self accountability. It's okay to look in the mirror and say, I'm flawed here. I need help. It's okay. If you're a messy person and you want to change that narrative about you, it's okay to say, man, I'm messy. I need to stop this nonsense. I got to grow up and do something different. Maybe your environment was just around messy people, right? So maybe you need to change that. So yeah, man, and you can absolutely change your whole entire life. You just have to be willing to do it. I've done it several times. There's several different versions of my life. I worked hard at being this because of what I was before, was nowhere near this. But to be in a certain rooms, to be able to talk to certain people on a certain level, I got to be able to conform. I got to be a chameleon, right? A chameleon ain't gonna change colors unless he's adapted to it first. It's never too late to doggone reinvent yourself. It's never too late. If you're a piece of you know what and you want to change your life, you can. You're gonna have to remove yourself from people that know you though, because at the end of the day, the worst thing they're gonna do is remind you of who you used to be. If I don't like something about myself, if I don't like the same pair of socks I got on, what do? You change them, right? So why can't you change your mind? Why can't you change your attitude? Why can't you change the way you handle stuff? Why can't you change your attributes? You can change everything else, but you can't change your mind.
One of the things I know about gangs and the military, they both very similar, is that in a gang, you don't just say, I'm going to join and get in the gang. They're going to whoop your ass. They're going to
Mm-hmm.
tell you to do something criminal. And they're going to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you can fight. They're going to make sure that you're not going to run. They're going to make sure you're not going to squeal. They're going to make sure you know how to shoot or whatever, or steal, or whatever. Right? Um, so it seems to me that one of the things that we need to do is be more selective. The Marines don't just accept you because you want to join. You have to meet certain criteria. In this age where you could be whatever you want, and we haven't set up criteria and held ourselves to the fire, kind of been way too loosey goosey. It seems like that's created problems in that area. What do you think about that, though?
I think you're right. I think I'll say it like this: if we actually vetted like we were supposed to, the people in the movement, the numbers would be a lot smaller than what they are. Well, I say that because based on you should vet based on what everybody's doing based on their qualifications. So like I said, somebody's a general. What is your military service record? What is your experience? You could have been a pistol pusher, but if you got 18 years of experience in the military, you know how to use a weapon. You understand military strategy. You have to, especially in the Marine Corps, because once you spend a certain amount of time in the Marine Corps, you have to go to school. So if you got out of the military as an E6 or something like that. All right, cool. So tell me what you know about weapons and strategy. What do you know about weapons and tactics? Well, I ain't shot in a while. Okay, let's say you got to get refreshed on shooting. That's cool. There's a lot of officers that do. I asked you, what do you specifically know about weapons and tactics? Do you know what a vantage point is? Do you know what an entry and an exit point is? Do you know what an X field means? Do you know what a 5 paragraph order means? Do you know what time on target means? Do you know what MET T means? Do you know what SMEAC means? Do you know You go down the line. It's like a board they sit in front of, right? Do they know what these acronyms mean? If they do not know what these acronyms mean, ask them if they're willing to receive training. If they are, you train them for a time period of 90 days. If they cannot grasp that concept, you excommunicate them because they're not worthy, neither are they qualified. We got to be selective and stop worrying about people's feelings. You're talking about going to war, but everybody's in their feelings. Oh, brother, you could have said that a lot better than that. Shut up. This is a war. This is a war effort, is it not? So if I hurt your little feelings because I tell you to get your ish together, that bullet that flies by your head is gonna tear everybody up because you're gonna be too busy freezing. Give me somebody that got enough doggone heart to doggone take constructive criticism, get their stuff together, and step up and be strong instead of man, you ain't have to say it like that.
Okay, now Moon, I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna pivot, and this is gonna be the last question. Thank you for your time. Thank you
Send it.
to Sister Mila for being very patient and with us as we go on this journey. What is the end game for Brother Amun?
Across the water in a whole new world, living a whole new life, being an elder, talking to those people that I hold near and dear to me because I'm at the point in my life, the only friends I have in my circle are going to be at my funeral. That's it. I fought my fights. When I'm an elder, that's literally what I'm going to say. I fought my wars. My body armor is over. I'm hanging my body armor up, passing my weapons down to my grandchildren. And that's it. Continue doing me, continue giving back to the community, being a teacher, being a jegna, like yourself, because you taught me for a reason. And that's to pass that knowledge. You and Baba Baruti, I would be remiss if I said, I'm just going to keep this to myself. No, you gave me the information to pass it on to a younger generation as another Baba. So I'll be a Jegna, or there'll be a new Jegna, pass my information on, and I hope to close my eyes for the last time in the mother continent with the sun shining on my
Yes,
face.
sir.
I want to die a free man. I do not want to die here.